The sheriff and the police chief are here. They are aware of the protests. The police chief tells me he supports marchers' First Amendment rights. Some activists earlier pressed the police chief about his officers and tactics they use. He says he is proud of his officers and the work they do, and he's even had to fire some people in the past. The organizer, Bruce Wilson, tells me he expects more people to come out to this after 5 o'clock when they get off work. Live in Greenwood, Ann Maxwell, 7 News.
Thank you, Ann. And of course, we're going to have continuing coverage on what's happening in Greenwood throughout the night. So be sure to stay with us on air and on WSPA.com. The city of Asheville has declared a state of emergency and will be under a curfew starting at 8 p.m. tonight that lasts till 6 tomorrow morning. People in Asheville are still cleaning up from last night's protests, which became a confrontation between demonstrators and authorities. Henry Coburn reports from Asheville on some of the efforts underway.
Here in downtown Asheville, there are several signs of what went on last night, including this graffiti on the wall you see behind me. These people have been scrubbing it off, they say, for the past several hours. This is on a corporate office building, but this kind of graffiti is widespread, and it's not the only kind of damage left behind by last night's events.
We are peaceful, you are violent.
Everything was going fine, and then it was peaceful.
Mel Reff was at last night's protests in Asheville with her friends before the conflict began. She says police used tear gas and flashbangs to clear the crowds when it became less peaceful.
I felt like I was spitting up blood, and I could not see, and thankfully my friends got me out of the way.
Reff and her friends left, but others did not. When the sun rose this morning, it revealed the damage left behind by the conflict. There's broken glass and damaged businesses.
We had a bullet come through our window, and it actually went through the mirror back there, through the wall, into the bathroom, hitting the other wall.
But there's more. Graffiti, much of which is profane.
Y'all got an extra brush anywhere?
Volunteers today sprayed and they scrubbed.
Being able to come out here and scrape the paint or the spray paint off the wall shows that we really care about the stuff that we do, but then there's a proper way and a wrong way to go about stuff.
The right way, they say, is peacefully.
I just totally feel like we should just keep on protesting until something happens.
As of now, Asheville PD has not yet confirmed if there were any arrests made following last night's destruction of property.
Now, as these cleanup efforts like you see behind me continue, we hear from the people here that we could see another round of protests here in Asheville this evening. In Asheville, Henry Coburn, 7 News.
Tell 7 News. The people cleaning the walls tell 7 News that they've gotten a lot of good positive feedback from the community for their efforts.
Members of the clergy in Spartanburg County met today talking about community unrest and what's needed to move forward. 7 News reporter Scotty Kay has those details.
More than 60 faith leaders stood in solidarity along with Spartanburg police officers and city council members expressing their grievances after the tragic death of George Floyd and how they plan to fight for justice. Clergy from different denominations across Spartanburg County came together sharing one common message: to rise against hate, violence, and racism. This comes after the killing of George Floyd and the protest his death sparked here in Spartanburg and across the nation. Faith leaders said they believe change will start with small acts of kindness, and they say faith will be a main contributor in the fight for change.
From 1 John 4:20, whoever claims to love God yet hates a brother or sister is a liar. For whoever does not love their brother and sister whom they have seen cannot love God whom they have not seen.
The clergy members say this event was just the start of their movement, and they're hoping that they can get more people of faith and even non-believers to join their cause. We'll have information on how to do that on our website, WSPA.com. In Spartanburg, Scotty Kay, 7 News.
And as protests continue across the country in the wake of George Floyd's death, law enforcement agencies here in the upstate are looking to effect change. Many are taking a look at their use of force policies. 7 News' Ayla Ferrone has the details on how the Greenville County Sheriff's Office is responding.
Sheriff Hobart Lewis talking to protesters over the weekend and taking a knee at their request. He says they can count on him to help move change forward.
No justice, no peace!
Protesters flooding the streets of Greenville over the weekend, and Sheriff Hobart Lewis standing alongside them.
It was a defining moment. You know, I was going to speak to the crowd and thank them for what they were doing. They started chanting, "Take a knee, take a knee." I said, I'll take a knee, but we're going to take a knee together.
He says it was important for him to be part of the conversation to move toward change.
You don't know what I'm thinking unless you ask me, and I get a chance to tell you, and you listen. I don't know what you're thinking unless you respond, and you talk to me, and I listen. I don't think we do enough listening.
He says following the death of George Floyd in Minneapolis, he was shocked.
It made no sense, but for 7 or 8 or 9 minutes, it's crazy. There's no reasonable explanation whatsoever.
Saying this should cause every law enforcement agency to take a hard look at its use of force policies.
We train people, you don't do those things. And the most important thing, honestly, with George Floyd's death, he has just taught law enforcement, this is why we don't do this.
He says he can promise Greenville that when a sheriff's deputy shows up to help, they'll be held to the highest standards. And if they don't behave properly,
if there's a penalty to be placed on a deputy, if we need to correct his behavior, we need to punish him, even up to termination or charge him, we would certainly do that.
I asked him what makes now different than previous acts of police brutality toward unarmed black men.
What I can tell you is now I'm the sheriff and I'm committed to doing something about it. That's what's different.
The sheriff is working on bringing activists and law enforcement together to talk about how to move forward, and he says he hopes that those meetings will continue for years to come. I'm reporting in Greenville, Ayla Ferrone, 7 News.